The highest seed left is Xavier. They're an 11 seed, and they're going to go against Arizona, a 2 seed. After that comes Wisconsin. They're an 8 seed. South Carolina is a 7 seed. Michigan is also a 7 seed. After that, pretty much everything is, I don't know, I guess you'd say chalk. Kansas and Butler and North Carolina, of course.
Well, except for one thing.
UCLA and Kentucky still left on that whole side of the bracket.
I know the day after it doesn't mean anything, but the far majority of those games, even where the better or the lower seed won the game and chalk ruled the day,
right?
Those games came down to the last 3 minutes.
I know that, but there's
a couple games where like UCLA, obviously,
URI,
Rhode Island, damn near won, but there were a bunch of those games where the better seed team did win the game, like North Carolina advanced. They were losing with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I know that. So, that's what makes it interesting.
Great games.
Now, there are 3 number 1s left when you think about it. Gonzaga, North Carolina, and Kansas are all left.
Right.
Villanova obviously gets knocked off. There goes my bracket. My bracket is shot. Our bracket was, it's just completely obliterated.
When Villanova lost, if you go to the the national bracket, CBS Sports Side and ESPN.
It's like 49%.
There's something like 90 million brackets filled out. I forget the exact number. 8 of them still had everyone available because when Villanova got knocked out, it screwed everybody up. Then you had Duke, peace out. Louisville, see you later. And on and on and on. I mean, there's no one sitting there in America right now today that can legitimately say they have their entire Elite 8, let alone Final 4.
Right, with the big conference.
Doesn't exist.
And by the way, with the big conferences, you got 3 Big Ten teams left. You got 3 SEC teams left, 3 Pac-12 teams left, and 3 Big 12 teams left.
Right, so I don't know if that means anything.
Well, I'll tell you what it means for me. It means that maybe Big Ten basketball wasn't as bad as it showed itself to be towards the end of the season. But
so it's not the teams you thought were getting.
Well, Michigan. I mean, Michigan has got to be like I did a Sports Minute later on this morning. They seem to be, believe it or not, Michigan, because their plane slid off the runway before their Big Ten Conference championship took place in Washington, D.C. Are they the Cinderella that's left? I know that Xavier is somewhat of a Cinderella that's left, but I don't know. For all that it's built up to be and what you expect from college basketball, I think it's pretty much delivered.
Listen, it always does. It's the one guarantee that there's going to be an upset in the NCAA, that a number 2 seed, a 1 seed, a 3, whatever it is. It's been eminently watchable. It blows away NBA basketball, as we say every single March. Maybe this March more than others because the one thing we all get unified on, like I don't wager on it.
Right.
So you have a rooting interest, though. I hate Duke. And I hate Duke because they've been so good.
Yeah, I get it.
Anything else. It's nothing personal. Like that's why sports needs villains. Sports needs the UConn women. Sports needs Duke and back in the day Notre Dame football. Because when you have teams that are that great, it breeds 2 kinds of people. Guys that jump on the wagon, right?
Very prideful about their team.
I love Duke. I've always been a Duke fan. Whatever, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So when a team like Duke loses to South Carolina 88-81 and don't make it to the Sweet 16, guess what? We like that. Those are good stories in sports, and why sports is great, because I have no connection to Duke whatsoever.
Right.
But when Duke is playing, guess what? I'm rooting against them.
I will say one thing. College basketball fans are out of their minds.
In a good way.
Not, and I told you, I've gone to a couple games, and the amount of screaming and yelling that goes on at the officials. And last night was a prime example of it between Duke and South Carolina.
Right.
Just the abrasive nature of the college basketball fan at the arena. I'm not talking about, if you're at some bar and you're watching on TV or any of that crap, but at the arena, the way that they act. And then you think about the wife of Greg Marshall. He's the head coach of Wichita State. And she gets removed from a building because she is just letting the officials have it. I'm saying to myself, that's the ugly side.
With curses, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
she's
it's
not
brutal.
like, hey, come on, ref, Cody. It's not like that. It's like, F you, you might.
She lost her mind. I'm like, what are we doing here? I know these coaches under a lot of pressure because they make a ton of money. They need their teams to win, and their fans want their teams to win. But it is crazy how just like into it and how out of control that sometimes these fans can get at these games.
There's also another problem. It's listen, we talked about it in that Northwestern game, the first one.
Yeah.
When you're down and you're forced to foul, and this has come up a few times, happened again last night. You're fouling on purpose. The building knows you're fouling on purpose, right?
Right.
They should not be allowed to go to the replay and then make a determination. Is that flagrant or not? Did he go for the ball or not? It happened again last night where you're trailing by 3 or 4. They got the ball, whatever it might be, or you're down 1. It's 10 seconds left. You have to foul. If you don't foul, they're going to dribble the clock out, right?
Right.
So depending on how you foul and how the player that gets fouled reacts to the foul, typically they flop nowadays to try to get a flagrant called. You should not be allowed to go back as a ref and then watch that play in slow motion.
Part of it.
They're fouling, and by the nature of being unintentional foul, they're not necessarily going for the ball. They might bear hug you, touch your arm, whatever it might be. But you have these games now that come down to, oh my God, is it a flagrant foul or not? They should never review that. I hate that.
Well, it's also got a tinge of European soccer to it, with the flopping,
right?
and all that other crap. Yeah, I mean, all I can tell you is that last night at the end of that Duke and South Carolina game, I'm sitting there and I'm going, come on, guys, come on. And then finally, with about 13 seconds to go,
right?
TNT had a shot of Coach K, and you can see him mouth to his teammates, to his team. No more fouls.
Yeah, stop.
Thank God.